Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumbass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call her one? Funky dog head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker? Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you. Gail King. Out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gail. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumbass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call her one? Funky dog head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker? Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We're trying to wait for a few more people to come in. Welcome to another episode. We are live. We are live. I'm coming at you with 5. This is Gavin Richard Presents on channel GBoot 2786. Thank y'all for just tuning in. I'm just doing a little live streaming. Trying to see if we can get more people coming in on this Thursday, late Thursday evening. We're getting it in. So hold on a second. I'm waiting for a few more people to come in. I'm going to be posting some stuff and playing some clips, guys. I don't want to make this a long video, but most of you may or may already know, back in January, last week in January, Kobe Bryant, along with several other people, including his 13-year-old daughter, were killed in a helicopter crash. 9 people total, including the pilot and several friends of Kobe Bryant, children that were on there. And Kobe has not even been buried. Neither has his daughter. And it's my understanding they're going to be doing a memorial February 24th at the Staples Center. Now, at first they had trouble, I think, trying to get the Staples Center together because the Staples Center is kind of small for an event like that. Of course, the Staples Center held Michael Jackson's funeral, had Nipsey Hussle's funeral, and it was pretty packed there. So I could imagine for Kobe Bryant, it's going to be even more packed since that was the house that Kobe built, the Staples Center. And he brought Showtime back to Los Angeles. Although I'll say this even when he was alive, Shaq had a lot to do with that. Shaq was the one that got 3 of those 5 rings that Kobe had. But neither here nor there. I'm not talking about basketball tonight. But Kobe has not even been put in the ground. And yet, like clockwork, not even 24 hours after he died, people started to bring up his past and bring up things that were not even relevant, things that were settled, to try and besmirch his legacy and to try to justify his death. You had that one B-list actress, Evan Rachel Wood, who's on Westworld. You had Abigail Disney, heir to the Disney company. Now, Nicole from Nicole's View, shout out to her, actually wrote to Disney talking about canceling Disney Plus, and Disney actually responded saying that Abigail Disney had nothing to do with the company, although it contains her name. Her uncle, her great uncle, was Walt Disney. Her grandfather, my understanding, was Walt Disney's brother, Roy E. Disney. Roy Disney was the one that actually was behind the scenes handling all of business, while Walt Disney was the front man with everything. He was basically the spokesperson for Walt Disney when it was coming up. And it's been documented that Walt Disney, excuse me, guys, he had a lot of racist things to say about black people. If you listen to what Tariq Nasheed has posted He's been notorious for things. And Disney has had a lot of slick stuff in the past, just like Warner Brothers had, even with some old Bugs Bunny cartoons that were humiliating. But, Abigail Disney has talked bad about him, Evan Rachel Wood. There was a professor who talked bad about him. And they made it sound like, okay, Kobe Bryant was a great athlete. He died, but he was also a rapist. Now, the problem with that, as most of you know, or should know, and this is how it's going to relate to Gayle King in a second, because that's who I want to talk about, or I call her Fail King. Kobe Bryant was never convicted on a rape charge. And when they always talk about the victim, they always mention the victim. The victim, she was not a victim. She was not a victim. This did not go to trial. The prosecutors decided there would be no charges in this case. Now, there's a reason why the prosecutors did not want to could not proceed with a charge of rape. And the reason being was that this woman, when they did a sample of her clothing, now I'll just give you a little advice when it comes to clothing in regards to a sex crime. You can't mention, as defense attorneys, it's prejudicial to mention a victim's sexual history or the manner of clothes that they're wearing. They don't want you to victim shame, although it's fair for the defendant to have their sexual history, their past, their prior accusers, prior bad acts, as we call it. They like to bring that in, but you can't bring it in on the victim. Nevertheless, you can bring up clothing, articles of clothing, under the code of evidence with regards to DNA testing. And the thing is that when you look at the evidence, she had, I'm reading this is off of, this is on Wikipedia. Of course, Wikipedia is not the most reliable, but there were several, and I distinctly remember that case. It was revealed that she wore underpants containing another man's semen and pubic hair to her rape exam the day after the alleged incident. It said Detective Doug Winter stated that the yellow underwear she wore to her rape exam contained sperm from another man, along with Caucasian pubic hair. Bryant's defense stated that the exam results showed compelling evidence of innocence because the accuser must have had another sexual encounter immediately after the incident. She told investigators that she grabbed dirty underwear by mistake from her laundry basket when she left her home for examination. That doesn't even make sense. On the day she was examined, she said she hadn't showered since the morning of the incident. The examination found evidence of vaginal trauma, which Bryant's defense team claims was consistent with having sex with multiple partners in 2 days. Now, more into that, because I remember this, she had about 4 different semen stains in her drawers, not from 4 different men. Not to mention, also, she bragged about it at a party. Go to Tariq Nasheed's Twitter feed. Tariq Nasheed talks about it. Kobe Bryant. We're typing it in. I'm going to post it here. You can all get it here. Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to find it, but nevertheless, guys, the case got dismissed. It got dismissed. So, and this was in 2003. So, how it relates to Gayle did an interview, if you guys hadn't heard, with WNBA legend and coach Lisa Leslie. And Lisa Leslie Shout out to her during the interview. She spoke highly of Kobe Bryant. This was a friend of hers. And the interview was going good up until around this point. And I'm going to play it for you right now. You guys take a listen to it right now. Here we go. This is from CBS in the morning. This is her interview. This is a clip.
She was going to be in the WNBA.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, you know, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa,
Now, let me stop it right there. Okay. I knew something like this was going to come up because Gayle King does shit like that. You know, you got to keep in mind, Gayle King got a multi-million-dollar deal from CBS after she interviewed R. Kelly. And obviously, R. Kelly wasn't in control of his emotions at that time. And it was clear Gayle was trying to definitely make him look bad, although she didn't have to try that hard. R. Kelly did that himself. But nevertheless, she does these interviews with R. Kelly. Now she interviews Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And of course, she's trying to, that's my oven, guys. I was cleaning. Hold on one second. I'm just going to be doing it on for the next few days. I didn't close the door. So hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Okay. Y'all just walk with me. Oh, shit. It'll go off in a second. It's self-clean. Let's see. Okay. So back to where we were. So I expected Gayle King to do some shit like this. I'm not surprised she was going to bring that up. Now, I wasn't tripping. And honestly, I didn't trip on this until this question. And this is what really got me. And you heard Lisa's response. She even said how she never witnessed that. Kobe was not that type of person. She stayed on code. And we don't do that in our community, unfortunately. You see that what transpired with Bill Cosby, when we talk about how some of the fellow black comedians and entertainers threw him under the bus when he was accused of his transgressions, and how they just rapidly just jumped on it, didn't support him mainly because they were upset over some trivial shit. But listen to the rest of the interview. Now, I'm okay with that first part, but this is how you knew there was an agenda and how she went for it. Just listen carefully.
Wouldn't see it, though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Wait, let me rewind it.
See it, though. Lisa, you wouldn't see it, though.
Let me rewind it so you can hear the next question after Lisa speaks. This is 36 seconds in.
Would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it, though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with?
Okay, let me stop you right there. So you heard that. She said, Lisa, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see it, though. In other words, she's questioning Lisa and saying, well, you don't know what happened. It could have happened. She's hinting on that. And Lisa responded in kind and said, well, I'm not saying nothing happened, but that's not the man that's not the man that I know, and we see, I saw Sinbad on the Breakfast Club. I saw Sinbad on Wendy City Live. Whenever he's done interviews, when they've asked him about Bill Cosby, Sinbad has always maintained, his relationship was always going to be with Dr. Cosby. He says, Dr. Cosby helped him, and Dr. Cosby, he never witnessed anything like that. I've heard D.L. Hughley, I heard Earthquake on Vlad. They talked about it like it was true. You had the Hannibal Buress of the world. You've had Marsha Warfield, other people from Gabrielle Union, and even today Jamel Hill, who there's a reason why she's out of a job at ESPN. Jamel Hill was trying to even start some shit about this thing because Bill Cosby was trending as a result of this Gayle King backlash, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But let me play the rest of the interview.
With this, and that it was resolved, or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, with the cases, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify. So it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
Okay. And right on, Leslie. Right on. She said that's how we should leave it. That's exactly how we should leave it. Remember, in this country, every person that's accused of a crime is innocent until proven guilty. So it is on the state to prove the guilt of the accused. So if you said Kobe Bryant raped this woman, then you have to have proof that he did that, and you have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. If you said that, same thing with with the O.J. Simpson case. You say O.J. murdered two people. Can you prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he murdered Nicole and Ron Goldman? Same thing with Michael Jackson. Can you prove that he molested these boys? And they were unable to prove it in those cases. People like to make the argument, well, just because you're found not guilty doesn't mean you're innocent. No, but when you're found not guilty in the eyes of the law, you're not guilty. So that means you are innocent by the eyes of the law. And so we can do that song and dance all night about who's innocent and who's guilty and what the justice system is and so forth. But the bottom line is Kobe Bryant was never convicted on a rape charge. In this case, this woman, I believe, got money. She settled it. The reason she didn't want to testify is because the prosecutors even knew that this was going to be hard and she was full of shit. So they settled this matter out of court. The criminal case got dropped. And this woman, they said that she was taken. I'm reading this more. This is from Kobe's defense attorney, Pamela Mackey. She asserted that the accuser was taking an antipsychotic drug at the time of this incident. Lindsay McKinney, who lived with the accuser, said the woman twice tried to kill herself at school by overdosing on sleeping pills. Before the alleged incident, the accuser, an aspiring singer, tried out for the television show American Idol with the song Forgive by Rebecca Lynn Howard, but failed to advance. In addition to the woman's moral character and reputation being challenged by Bryant's defense lawyer, she received death threats and hate mail, and her identity was leaked multiple times. She was unwilling to testify, and the prosecutors, I'm reading this to, Eagle County District Judge Terry Ruckeriegel dismissed the charges against Bryant after prosecutors spent more than $200,000 preparing for trial. Now, the other thing too is I've seen and heard that this woman who accused Kobe Bryant also was bragging about it, how she slept with him and how big his dick was. And this was in news articles right after the incident. I have also seen and heard that she wrote a diss record against Kobe Bryant a few years ago. Now, I don't, and Sinbad, even since I brought up Sinbad earlier, he talked about it. Now, I've never heard of a rape victim, and people do respond to trauma differently. But I've never heard of one this album like that. Yeah, this was from Lipstick Alley. This is an article here. Her name was Caitlin Slater.
Check it. You know
And
how
I
I be.
think this is her.
5 years ago, date raped by Kobe.
This is the actual
You know
album.
how
This
I
is
be.
the actual
5
victim.
years ago, date raped
If
by
I'm correct,
Kobe.
I don't know if it's true, but this is her. Her name is
I was in
Caitlin
Colorado,
Faber.
work at a hotel when Kobe rang the
This is
bell.
on YouTube. I was able to look up Lipstick
Then he
Alley.
bent me over a chair, pulled on my hair, and tore up my bowels. Kobe bought his wife a diamond ring to make up for being reckless. But I also got some bling when he pulled out his thing and gave me a pearl necklace.
Okay, I gotta stop. If y'all want to look at it, but I had to stop it just because it was just annoying just to listen to it. So it's got 468 likes to over 1,800 dislikes. So I'll leave it at that. You use your imagination. But back to Gail, because I don't want to do this video too long. So Gail caught a lot of flack for this question that she proposed. And Lisa Leslie, as I said again, she maintained composed. She was professional. And she was 100% right. If you didn't mention anything for the 17 years that you were alive, why bring it up now? And it's because Gail thought that she could get some more brownie points. She wanted to get more brownie points just like she did with the R. Kelly incident, because remember, Gayle King signed a new contract with CBS right after that R. Kelly incident. And even so, when she signed that new contract, what was interesting is that CBS was having money trouble. And so some of the people even complained, people that worked inside CBS, you can go Google this, they were saying how they didn't understand how she get a new deal, how Gail got a new deal, and especially with the financial situation that CBS is in. Remember, CBS's head, the head of CBS programming, Les Moonves, or Molesta Moonves, as Professor Blacktroop would call him, got fired, or was not even fired. He volunteered to leave after he was accused of sexual harassment. And his wife, of course, was Julie Chen from The Talk. So, yeah, it was sickening to listen to W. But I will post this in the chat. Yeah, I posted it in the chat box. You guys can look at it yourselves. But that didn't sound like a rape victim. So, at any rate, Gayle King caught a lot of flack from different people, including Snoop Dogg, Tariq Nasheed has said something, Boosie has said something. That's what I was playing. I was playing Snoop Dogg earlier. Boosie went in on Gayle King. I'll play you Boosie right quick. One second, guys.
Why the fuck would Gail King? Why the fuck would you ask some shit like that? I don't give a fuck who friend it is. I don't give a fuck she can Obama. Uh-oh. Why the fuck would you do something like that? Why would you do that to your people? You know what people going through, right? Why would you ask a fucking question like that, trying to tarnish somebody's image? You do that to your own black people. You say it. I'm finna fire your ass up. You say it, bro. People be talking, black people need to stop fucking trying to hurt black people for success. It's all the reason you ask that fucking shit for, to get your fucking numbers up. Give a fuck who you can to.
All right. So Gail, after the backlash, Gail was out splaining. That's why I titled this Gail King splaining her way, can't explain her way out of this one. This is what she had to say in response to the backlash that she was facing. So I want to play it for you. This is her Twitter. Okay. And we're going to dissect it. Okay, it's in two parts. So this one is a 2-minute video. Okay, here we go.
I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. I've been up reading the comments about the interview I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And I know that if I had only seen the clip that you saw, I'd be extremely angry with me too. I am mortified, I'm embarrassed, and I am very angry. Unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context. And when you see it that way, it's very jarring. It's jarring to me. I didn't even know anything about it. I started getting calls. What the hell are you doing?
Okay, let me pause it right there. She said it was taken out of context by video. Now, I had in the description Gail King's Wikipedia page. Now, there's a reason why I had that up. And if you look at her Wikipedia page, it says Gail King is a noted journalist. She's more known for being Oprah Winfrey, but Gail King is 65 years old. She's a broadcast journalist and a magazine editor. She's the editor at large for the Oprah magazine O. Now, she's been in that position on CBS This Morning since 2012. And she has been active, according to her Wikipedia page, since 1981. That's over 39 years ago. Now, I'm bringing this up to you all because you guys already know that Gail should know how media is played. Gail is not someone who has just started out doing interviews. We know that because she's interviewed, high profile people before. Let's not forget you had this thing with Russell Simmons a few weeks ago that Oprah Winfrey was a part of, and I believe Gail King even did the interview with three of the accusers with Russell Simmons. And remember, Oprah Winfrey had to step down. Oprah stepped down because she tried to say it was an issue with the producer, but no, the real issue was she got backlash because everybody knows and have seen the pictures. If you Google it, she's hugged up with Harvey Weinstein. There are pictures of her with him, hugging almost everywhere. They're smiling, they're laughing, and yet we have not seen Oprah Winfrey interview one person, or Gail King for that matter, one female victim, since, and let's use the term victim, since every woman that comes out and says something happens to her is a victim, according to Oprah Winfrey and Gail King, although they'll act differently when it's a black man versus a white person, because even when Charlie Rose was accused of sexual harassment, her former co-anchor at CBS, Gail King, said there was two sides to every story. So she kind of wanted to defend Charlie Rose, Although, and I'll be honest with you, some of the stuff that I've heard, even on white men with this Me Too things, is bullshit. I don't believe all of it either. That's not to say that some of it couldn't have happened. I've heard things about Woody Allen. I've heard things about Bryan Singer. I know that Bryan Singer is gay. Now, that's not to say that gay people, all gays molest children. No, I would never say anything like that. But I know that Bryan Singer has been accused in the past of messing with teenage boys, which is a crime, period. And I've heard of other prominent white Hollywood men, from Roman Polanski. We all know the stories, but they don't get this type of treatment like Gail does. And I honestly believe that Gail and Oprah have something against black men. But let's continue with the clip. My point being is that Gail knew. She said she was mortified at what she saw. So let's play the rest of the clip.
Why did you say this? What is happening? I did not know what people are talking about. So I've been told, or I've been advised, to say nothing. Just let it go. People will drag you. People will troll you. It'll be over in a couple of days. But that's not good enough for me, because I really want people to understand what happened here and how I'm feeling about it. I reached out to Lisa because I know that she's a longtime friend of Kobe's, to talk about his legacy and their friendship. We had a really wide-ranging interview, talked about many things: his career, his passion, his sense of humor, the way he was mentoring other people, how he was starting his next chapter. It was wide-ranging. And yes, we talked about that court case, because that court case has also come up. And I wanted to get Lisa's take on it as a friend who knew him well, what she thought, where that should stand. And I thought it was very powerful when she looked me in the eye as a member of the media to say it's time for the media to leave it alone and to back off. During the course of the interview, I asked follow-up questions because I wanted to make sure that her position and perspective were very clear.
Her position was already clear when she said it should be left alone. Her position was clear when you asked her, was his legacy tarnished by these accusations? And she said, I never witnessed it. I never seen him like that. And you said, well, you don't know. You're not always there. Let's go back. Isn't that what she said? Hold on. Let's play it again. Let's see what she said.
I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person
That's Lisa.
Do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way.
She says, I never seen him do anything that would appear he was aggressive or would violate a woman in any way.
It's not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it. You see, Gail, you out here splaining. You're out here splaining about about how shocked you were. You didn't understand and you wanted context. No, you knew what the fuck you were doing. You knew what you were doing. You wanted to tarnish that man's legacy. You wanted to push your agenda for your handlers by your questioning. You knew you're a seasoned veteran. You know how journalism goes. You know what questions to ask a person. And let's say it was edited. I'm going to play the rest of the video because I'm going to play the rest of the clip. I'm going to wait. Let me pause on that thought. Let me play the rest of the clip because she talks about
very clear.
So hold on.
And it's very clear. And at the end, when she said it's time to leave it alone, as I said, I thought that was powerful. And I insisted that part be in the interview because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview, is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. And I felt that we had a friendly relationship. I too am mourning his loss, just like everybody else. I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I felt I had to say something. I don't want to sit up on a set and read a prepared remark. I wanted you to hear exactly. As I said, I thought that was powerful, and I insisted that part be in the interview because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview, and I felt really good about the interview.
She don't feel good about it today.
The network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context.
And she's blaming her network. We're going to get into that.
For people who didn't see the whole interview is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. I also want to say this. I have been with Kobe Bryant on many social occasions. He was very kind and very warm to me, and I felt that we had a friendly relationship directly. I've never done one of these before. I want you to hear exactly where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling.
Okay.
And to let everybody know that no disrespect intended. And now I've got to go to work.
I got to say this too.
I thank you for listening.
You notice with all of these celebrities, black female celebrities like Gayle King, I've seen Pam Oliver, you would think that it being that they got money, they could buy a better fucking wig. You would think she could buy a better wig or something. You worth $25 million. You don't have to go to the Diamond Wine and get a wig across the street. Shit, get your hair fixed up. Look like Chewbacca. I was upset about this, guys, and I'm usually professional. You know, I try to be professional. But another thing you noticed in the video, when she talked about, well, I didn't want to disparage him, I certainly wouldn't disparage him. You notice she didn't apologize for the interview. She didn't apologize for the question. And then she started talking about how she's going to have a serious talk with the network because people didn't watch the whole interview. The thing is not whether we needed to watch the whole interview or not, because the problem is that you asked that question about whether this was going to tarnish his legacy, and then you followed it up by telling Lisa Leslie you wouldn't see it happen. Those are your words. Let me play it one more time. I want to get it right. You wouldn't see it. Lisa, is that what you said?
Be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You wouldn't see it though, Lisa. As his friend, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't see it, Lisa. Let's play it one more time. This is my birthday, guys, so happy birthday to me. I don't want to keep going on, but
Lisa,
let's play it one more time.
Though.
Do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying.
Okay. So Lisa answered. She said, it doesn't tarnish anything for me, but you kept up. You kept on with it. So tell me, how's CBS at fault? You've been in the editing room. Gail, you're an editor of a magazine company, one of the largest magazines, one of the most popular magazines in the world. I don't know how much Oprah has made. I'm sure she's made millions off those magazines. My mom, my mother actually still gets those, I think. I'm not a fan of Oprah. My mom even told me tonight she don't care about that woman. But my folks, they like the have and have nots and Loving You Is Wrong and all of the shows that Tyler Perry has on there. And that's another story because Tyler Perry's movies, I mean, he writes all the screenplays for every TV show, every movie he's done. So you can tell why the quality in some of the movies are not that great. But I respect Tyler and what he's been doing, but I'm getting off topic. Okay, we're getting off topic. Let's get back. Excuse me. So Gail is an editor of a multi-million-dollar, is the editor at large for Old Magazine. So she knows about editing. She knows about reviewing things. So I don't know how you blame. So I didn't have to see the entire interview to know that you asked a dumbass question. The whole world didn't have to see that. We knew from how you asked that question and how you pushed. You pushed with it. You knew what you were getting into. And you know what? Gail is not alone. Gail is not alone. She's not the only one that should get pushed back for this and coming at brothers. We got a white supremacist devil that comes at brothers, Gloria Allred, and her daughter Lisa Bloom. I want the same backlash, like my brother Tareen Rain says. They need the same pushback. And what makes this special and why I'm happy about it is that when Oprah or Gail or any other person, and let's not just keep it on the women. Let's even say someone like a Larry Elder. Let's say something like a person like Larry Elder or a Charles Barkley who will say something so dumb and stupid about the black community, say something so raw that when they would do that, and this was back in the 90s, you didn't have you didn't have social media back then. Kind of what Oprah said stuck because she was a powerful woman. She was on TV every day. You didn't have Twitter. You didn't have Facebook. No one had a platform. And Oprah Winfrey reaches millions of people. Gayle King reaches millions of people because people watch CBS. But you know what? I can reach billions of people because right now I'm on social media. And social media is larger than mainstream media. Social media, the internet, reaches and connects everyone across this planet. So when we see things like this, we have a platform. We have a platform that we can reach out and say things. We don't need to have water cooler discussions anymore, where all we can do is just talk and vent. We can clap back at them because they have a Twitter account. They have a Facebook account. And so Gail is rightfully facing this backlash from people across the country because Kobe Bryant, and even across the world for that matter, Kobe Bryant was loved across the world. I mean, in China, they have statues of Kobe. There's a statue of Kobe Bryant next to Bruce Lee. I think another brother who plays out there who played out there in China, who actually couldn't get on a team in the NBA at one point. think it's Stephon, if I'm not mistaken. Someone knows the name of the brother that plays in China. I can't think of his name, but he's a black man, obviously. And he was huge over there in China. And he actually won championships for the Chinese teams. Stephon Marbury, that's it. No, it was him. Stephon Marbury, that's it. Yeah, he's played Chinese basketball. And when he wasn't able to get back in the NBA, he joined the Chinese Basketball Association from 2010 to 2018, and he won 3 CBA championships with the Beijing Ducks. You know, he's huge out there. And he actually lives in China. He actually bought a team, the Beijing Lions, out in the China Arena Football League. So he was very huge over there because of, you know, his status. I think he even has a statue out there after he retired from his basketball team. So Kobe Bryant, you know, is a worldwide figure, the Black Mamba, and people across the world were mourning his loss. And people are not going to tolerate you disrespecting their heroes much longer until we knew for sure, if Kobe was convicted of something back then, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because had he been convicted, he would have been kicked out of the NBA. Never mind that, he would even be in jail probably by now, still doing time. But he was not convicted of anything. He was innocent, you know, like what I posted earlier. So you have a clapback from a Snoop Dogg and from Boosie and from Tariq Nasheed and countless others, because we know the game that you're running, Gail. We know the game you're running, Oprah. We know that you're going after just black men. And speaking of Snoop Dogg even put on his Instagram, you know, I want to leave the quote here. You guys can actually go to Snoop Dogg's Instagram. Do you know Snoop Dogg actually praised, he calls for release of incarcerated in prison comic, which is Bill Cosby, in his Instagram post. This is what Snoop Dogg said. And he had a picture of Oprah with Harvey Weinstein. And he has at the bottom, did that fake ass Michael Jackson shit tarnish his name with them lying ass kids, and here she is with the known rapist smiling and laughing. Snoop posted to Instagram with the photograph of Winfrey and disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. Fuck you and Gail. Free Bill Cosby. Cosby, 82, was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison after he was found guilty of sexual assault committed in 2004. Cosby's Twitter account responded to Snoop saying, Snoop, when they brought me to my gated community and placed me inside of my penthouse, they didn't win, nor did they silence me. Of course, the fiery words came from CBS News chief anchor Gayle King. She's a news chief anchor, so that's another thing. So yeah, and Bill Cosby was trending on Twitter, about 47,000 views. 47,000 tweets, and I was going back and forth with various people. You know, the bottom line is Bill Cosby, and you guys know how I've been about that. He was not convicted of rape. I don't care how many times I got to say it. He was not convicted of rape. He was not convicted of rape. He was convicted of a sexual assault with very little evidence. If you look at the record in the court that's available in public, you can even look at it online. There were countless motions the defense attorney had filed to recuse this judge. This judge was corrupt. His wife, if my understanding, was receiving donations or participated in removing Bill Cosby's awards. It was brought to the attention of Tom Mesereau, the defense attorney at that time, and his other co-counsel, Ms. Kathleen Bliss, that a juror number 11, made some remarks that stated, in other words, during voir dire, which is before the trial began, that he said we should all go home. He's guilty, referring to Bill Cosby's guilt before the actual trial. And yet, when he was asked on the witness stand, the witness did not deny or confirm it. He also did not find the witness, a black woman who heard this juror say this, he did not find her credible. And he allowed this juror not only this motion to recuse the juror number 11, be dismissed. This same juror sat in the very trial that Bill Cosby had. So there were multiple issues with that trial. If people actually did research, if Jemele Hill and countless others like her did research instead of being blinded by their hatred of black men and their love for white daddy, they would see that this man was set up. And Snoop praised Bill Cosby, and Bill Cosby responded, "Thank you, Snoop." Of course, Bill Cosby is not tweeting from prison. He has, his spokesperson, I'm sure, who's handling his Twitter account, is responding for him. So you guys, I'm done with this for the night. But you guys see what's going on. Now, already trending, they're talking about Natalie Wood and Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas, who just died, screen legend, 103 years old. He just died, and they're tweeting about how Kirk Douglas was accused of raping 16-year-old Natalie Wood from back, obviously, in the 1950s, but which, first off, you can't even prosecute the man, and Natalie Wood actually was dead before Kirk Douglas died. So I don't even know what to believe with that. But, if we're being fair, then if you're going to use the same energy, Gail, like you did with Kobe, like you did with R. Kelly, like you did with Russell Simmons, you could go and interview Natalie Wood's sister and ask her about it. Why don't you try that about Kirk Douglas? Or if you want to do that, what about Steve Collins, the guy from Seven Heaven, who admitted to having relations with a 14-year-old girl back in the 70s? See, a lot of celebrities, and even Ray Don Sean talked about this today, earlier this week, when she admitted to having an affair with Mick Jagger when she was 15 years old, and Mick Jagger was 38 years old. See, that stuff goes on. But of course, we're not going to hear anything about that. Shame. Well, guys, that's it for me for tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. Support this channel, please. Please support. I got the Cash App link, Gavin Richard Esquire, as well as Google Pay, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. It's all in the description. Please support the channel. I can't stress that enough. We want to continue to see content like this. You want to continue to see videos. Please drop that. I would have dropped some earlier videos, but I've been tied up with work and some personal things I've just been dealing with. So you guys be safe and be blessed. I'll holla. That's it for tonight. Have a good one. Love you.